How's everyone doing? Good, good. Thank you for everyone for coming out. We're going to get started with a song, but my name is Kai Roberts. But I'll introduce myself further, once we get started. Uh, how's everyone feeling? Make some noise. All right, all right. Look. Look, I graduated. Get through anything, get magic made it. That's magic, ain't it? Graduated from public school, that's special ed. That's football team. Since 13 and football dreams. Most people waiting on the sideline, waiting for one time in the limelight. But tonight, I'ma shine in the moonlight. Made moves like Michael Jackson, so it's time for action. I go. Graduated to a party bus. I'm going to college. Had enough, gon' live it up. Pour a drink in a red cup. Everybody here, hands up. We're gonna celebrate. 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 All night, all night, all night. Everybody say we're gonna celebrate. Say we're gonna celebrate. Say we're gonna celebrate. All night, all night. Look, I graduated. Get through anything if magic made it. Orientation was kind of faded. I got lit. That's day-to-day shit. She threw it back. That's rebated. Freshman year, what's going on? We partied up. Grades are strong. Celebrate your favorite song. Mid-semester saw rainy weather. Super glue, get it together. I just wanna get together. Mama said seeing better, put your glasses on. Party in the classroom on. Finals week and that stress is on. Final is 40%, studying a lesson. Question, hands up like we're gonna celebrate. Hey, we're gonna celebrate. 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 All night, all night, all night. Say we're gonna celebrate. Say we're gonna celebrate. Say we're gonna celebrate. All night, all night. Yeah. All right, y'all, we're gonna do a little bit more call response. Wake everybody up a little bit. Make some noise, y'all with me. Y'all good? All right. Say hell yeah. Say hell yeah. Say hell yeah. Say hell yeah. Say we're gonna celebrate. Say we're gonna celebrate. Say hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Are y'all with me? Y'all with me? Cool, cool. All right, all right. Before I get started, I just want to say thanks for having me. I really appreciate you all for having me here in Washington and Jefferson. And I'm here to do a few things. So I'm here to tell my story while educating you in the process. I'm here to make you feel more comfortable in yourself. And I'm here for all of us to have a good time talking about a very difficult topic of mental health, right? See, I went to college not really knowing what to expect. Like really, I thought I was going to a big party like that. How you might see on the television and stuff like that. But when I got to college, I learned that it was a lot different than what's represented. I learned a lot of other things as well, learned about life, learned about relationships, learned about mental health from personal experience. See, after my sophomore year, I started dealing with an anxiety disorder. And now I'll talk a little bit about how this feels later on in the presentation, but for right now, it was really unexpected, and it's unexpected for a lot of people. See, 26% of adult Americans deal with a diagnosable mental health disorder in a given year. That's 1 out of 4 people, and it just so happened I was one of them. So I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about my past, my insecurities, my disorder, how it felt, and my recovery as well. And I'm really excited to share it with you. I know we have a smaller group, but I really appreciate you all for coming out, seriously. So to get started, I kind of want you all to go back in time, to a time that I know everyone loves to talk about, middle school. So we're gonna talk about middle school for a little bit. The reason why is that in middle school, I was one of those kids that got bullied a lot. Now, by show of hands, how many people in the audience have been bullied before? Anyone? Okay, so a few. Needless to say, middle school was not the best experience. I didn't really know how to defend myself, so that's why I was always kind of the victim, you know. High school was a lot better, but what I didn't realize is that these emotions, they follow you if they're not processed right. You know, these emotions, they follow you if they're not processed right, you know. So beyond those lessons, those initial lessons I learned in therapy, I also learned how to reflect, which is the most difficult thing. It's not just relaxing your body, it's not just meditation, but it's actually fixing the wounds of the past, and which can't be accomplished until you're calm enough to talk about it, right? So within therapy, I learned the true meaning of therapy. You know, I would go back to those insecurities I talked about in middle school, like being bullied and so forth. And you know, the emotions that I felt just talking about it again, like all the emotions that I experienced in that moment really came out. Like granted, I was in a very emotional, it was a very emotional time for me. You know, so picture this. Like you being bullied in middle school, you're crying about that experience. When I was talking in therapy, 12 years later, I felt those same emotions. I felt those same emotions. I'm talking to him about it. I'm crying, bawling, because I didn't process those emotions in the moment. You know, and those emotions were kind of pouring out, you know, and yeah. So we talked about it. You know, and the whole thing about therapy is finding ways to finding positive ways to spin negative emotions, or positive ways to essentially spinning negative thoughts, negative experiences into a positive light, so you can, or reprocessing those moments. That's exactly what we did. So I'm using the example of being bullied. You know, we were talking about that. I always assumed that when they were bullying me, it was a statement on myself. You know, that I'm inadequate, that I'm not worthy of someone's, you know, affection and things of that nature. But we reframed it. And I mean, people that bully other people are usually insecure in themselves. That's something I didn't really understand at the moment, but it was a new way of me looking at it that kind of took the burden off of myself, off of my own self-esteem. That's just one example. It took some time. It took a lot of time. You know, it takes a lot of time unpacking these emotions and repacking it in a different way. You know, it's not as fast as Amazon and things like. I'm playing. I just want to communicate that although I'm up here talking about it, something I couldn't have done years ago. You know, matter of fact, I was afraid of stages. You know, I stand here an imperfect person, so I'm not. I still deal with anxiety. You know, things came up in my life, you know, over the last, you know, 4 years since I've been out of college. You know, my brother had cancer. You know, I've lost family members. Life is a challenge, you know, and sometimes, you know, you get anxious. Sometimes you get depressed about certain things. But what therapy taught me, and this whole situation taught me, it gave me the tools that when any of these situations pop up, I know how to address it. I know how to calm my body. I know how to process those emotions in the moment instead of waiting so long for those burdens to build up on me.